Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Stencil Saturday video. So this week, as you can see, I have marked some of my circle pop stencil. I thought it would be fun to change it up a little bit and do kind of a block design idea. Because, you know, just because a stencil is full of these shapes, you're not always necessarily going to want to mark just a whole bunch of something. You can use just parts of it to fill in specific areas on your quilt. So in this case, what I did, you'll see I marked 1 inch in, I marked a line here. We're not going to stitch that just yet. That's just going to be a guideline for a center, because as a block, I'm going to put a design in the center here using the stencil to create that. And then I'm going to make it kind of like a little border around the outside of the block. So I am going to stitch this line that's just around the outside. So I'm going to start right here so that I'll be ready when I come back around to go into the center. So let me grab my ruler here. And just stitch this inside line. Move my thread. Oh, might as well just cut that off. And so this works out good because now we're going to end right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make each of these little circles like a flower. We're not actually going to stitch this ring. We are going to stitch, well, no, we're not going to actually stitch the center circle either. What we're going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to put like petals. I'm going to make these into a little flower. So I'm just going to eyeball kind of one petal here, one petal here, one petal here. And I do want to make sure that I leave a separation between two petals at the center, because that's where it's going to allow us to sneak over to the following circle. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start doing these little petals. And you see how I well, that one's going to be a little bit small. I see how I ended, so it's mostly near the center. And I did not stitch the center circle. And I'm not stitching the outside. I'm using it simply as kind of like a stop. So I'm using it as a guide. So I'm taking those little petals. I know to take them out to the edge of that circle. If they're exactly on it, doesn't matter, because once the stencil lines are removed, no one's going to know that. And at this point, I'm going to scoot right around to finish this off. Now, when I get to this point, I'm just going to make a little swirl. So it's going to kind of create the center. Come back around to that center, and I am ready to go right into the next one. Get to the center, do a swirl, swirl back out, and right into the next one. Around with the petals, the swirl, back out, and that kind of creates that circle, and you're done. So we'll scoot right down here and we'll just kind of do this backwards. No, we won't, because it's not going to work that way. I'm going to go ahead and go over to the left side. I mean, you could probably make it work, but I can't. And I know that. So I'm going to go over here, start again. And I'm just going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to come into the center, make my petals. Swirl, swirl back out, and right into the next one. Okay, so now the center is done. We're going to go ahead and do this little outside, kind of like a border to the block. Get rid of all these extra threads I have. And what I'm going to do, because we decided to do the flowers inside here, I thought it would be nice to have some leaves. And you'll notice too, I'm not worried about doing anything in here. I think it the flowers are kind of compact, the quilting, and it's all kind of down flat. So I'm going to leave these little diamonds that were created open. And then out here, I'm just going to start wherever. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to stitch this line, but I'm going to add little leaves that flow around it. And I'm just going to as I stitch it, I'll be able to create the center spine without actually having to stitch it. And I'm just going to do little S leaves. I'm going to work both sides at once. And of course, you could put the little spine in the center of each leaf if you like to do that. I think I kind of want these to be a little more open. And then I usually do stay right with this little point. You could round that corner off if you wanted to. I kind of like it that way. Kind of just transition there at the corner to the other direction. So let me go ahead and stitch those real quick. Okay, so now that the leaves are done, let me go ahead and trim these threads and we can have a look at this. I think it turns out really cute. I mean, it's a really great and easy way to make these tiny little flower shapes, and the leaves I think complement that perfectly. That would make a really cute little block in a quilt. So I hope you guys enjoyed the design, and I will see you next time. Bye.